Hello, so this is my final project for my European history class. I decided to do my final project on the Protestant Reformation because I have always been interested in both European history and the history of Christianity, and the Protestant Martin Luther's Protestant Reformation, of course, changed the course of both drastically. So, so I'm more specifically going to be talking about Martin Luther and the origins of Protestantism with him. So, so the Protestant Reformation was a movement that initially sought to reform corruption in the Catholic Church, but eventually caused a complete schism or split within Christianity, and caused Europe to be divided into Protestants and Catholics for many years. And one of the main reasons for this split was because of the practice of indulgences. Usually in the Catholic Church, an indulgence is just a way to reduce one's punishment for sins, usually by doing things like prayers or pilgrimages, or generally just doing some good deed to atone. Some indulgences were given in exchange for donations, which went to things like charity and hospitals, but eventually became so commercialized that the church kind of lost control over it all. So this is when Martin Luther came in. He was a German monk, and he wrote some famous disputations against this practice. So Martin Luther was a German Augustinian monk, and he's usually considered the beginning of the Reformation because he rejected several doctrines of the Catholic Church, mainly indulgences, as well as papal authority, and and if you're a non-Catholic Christian today, especially in America, a lot of the beliefs you have owe a lot to him, such as, for example, we might not have a Bible in plain English today without him. Uh, pastors pastors today wouldn't be able to marry without his ideas, and and other theological ideas such as the idea that only the Bible has authority when it comes to religious side when it comes to theological truths is mainly Martin Luther's idea. So the 95 Theses are probably the most famous thing that Martin Luther did. Basically, it's a document where he wrote all of his disputations against church doctrine. Of course, this is mainly the majority of these are against the practice of indulgences, but it also includes ideas that the church has no power over Christians, to that they're only there to help Christians on their way to salvation. He also stated that the church has no power over the dead in purgatory, a place where which is a place where people go on their way to heaven to purify themselves of sin. Some some church some churches taught that paying indulgences would cause your time in purgatory before you go to heaven to be much shorter. And Luther, of course, didn't like this. He says that the idea of indulgences will lead to people not never actually repenting and just paying up. So now the story of him, of course, you all know the famous story of him going up to the church walls and going up to the door of the church and nailing his paper onto the doors. But some historians say that this probably didn't actually happen. It might just be a legend. But Luther's idea was that we shouldn't try to be saved by paying the church, but by genuinely being a good person. And there's my bibliography. So, and one interesting to note is that Luther never actually wanted a big schism in Christianity to happen. He just wanted reform. But yeah, this is important because even if you're not a Christian, Martin Luther helped. We owe a lot to our culture to Martin Luther today.